Greetings, folks, and welcome to Vinyl Therapy Sessions, the Pop Asia Mindstyles exclusive water margin collection. I am your host, Coco Smooth, and as you can see, I have in front of me what's the collection of what water margin thus far, what we have. I'm going to start off with the caveat. I don't have the chase for Wusong, which was the 2022 Comic-Con exclusive. I didn't care much for it because I don't need it to be bloody. But the version of Wusong that I do have for y'all to see is one of two, is the 2021 edition, the summer convention exclusive. I think this was in Mindstyle's booth back in 2021, which was cool. But yeah, this one's got gray, like more subdued gray colors, as you can see, definitely different from the box. But yeah, 2021 shared sticker. I don't know if it had a actual SDCC sticker for it or whatever convention that it was in back then. But yeah, here's Mindstyle, right? And here is what it has. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see the dates or nothing because these Pop Asia stickers are just obnoxious, or yeah, in the bottom. Okay. But yeah, number 127. And here's what the 2022 one looks like in the package. We're going to be doing, obviously, the unboxing later on for you guys in the next half, right? But for now, here's what we got. The more accurate, box art accurate portrayal. So I guess we should have known that this version was coming with the gold and the more accurate colors, right, to the box version. Number 127. And I didn't even know they were going to actually make that more characters, and they did. Number 128, Song Jiang. But yeah, the funny thing about this story is Water Margin is one of 3 books or 4 books that influenced China big time. Like every other story had more noble, it talked about nobility and that kind of stuff. This was the only book that was the exact opposite. It's the the Game of Thrones teach treachery, the Machiavelli of China, basically. The one that says that doing crummy things to people saves your hide. A more realist, I guess, a realistic look at things, But yeah, a lot of these guys were rebels and not good people in the book. So here's number 129, Lu Jishen, who's the warrior monk of the group. Now, Water Margin, I believe, is the story, from how I remember it, was the story of like released demons that were released in the world, and they come together to somehow affect the rest of the world, world in China as we know it, around surrounding themselves around Song Jiang, who's kind of like, who by default kind of became like the main character of the crew. His story begins a little bit after Lu Jin, who's the Lu Jishen was the first, well, the one of the first stories to be told. And then eventually got to Song Jiang, who eventually just kind of was all over the place. And then eventually got to Wusong himself, who was the most popular character of the book, easily, right, in Water Margin. Next is the controversial character, and I'm going to dive into it a little bit more later on. But Li Kui, this dude was the guy who was really like the right-hand man, the hype man for Song Jiang. But the problem was, he was the more hot-headed, violent guy, and he didn't take crap from anybody. If my boy got pushed, or if Jiang, he would go, I'm just gonna kill you, fool, and eat you. He's the kind of cannibal of the crew. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but yeah, he's the the hothead of the crew, and Sang Jiang somehow eventually leads these people. But yeah, very influential book, and there's all kinds of videos out there that explains the Cliff Note versions of stuff. Uh, but yeah, I've always been kind of a fan based on the stuff that I saw on the martial arts movies that I saw recently in shows, and I wanted to know more. And definitely the shows and the movies that I saw clearly tell the more romanticized version of stuff versus some of the more controversial stuff that was on the book, to include the cannibalism and outright out of control murder, that rampage that Wu Sang went through at some point in the book. So yeah. All right, folks, next portion will be the open portion, which will be coming next. And this is what they look like outside of the package. Yeah, kind of cool. Let's start first with number um 127, Wu Song, who's easily the most popular character of the novel, this long novel. Uh, yeah, this is his second edition. His first edition came out in 2021. This version was 2022. Um, I like both, but I like this one a little bit better just because the crown is gold and his blades have gold, and I just like his color scheme better for this one. There's a chase with him all bloodied up, but I don't need him all bloodied up. I like him looking like this. But yeah, this guy was the most popular character in the book because he was the warrior. He got done dirty by his wife, I believe, and he got his revenge and massacred a bunch of people. This is one of those stories in China, from China, like one of the main, most influential books there is in all of Asia, to be honest, including in Japan. But yeah, it's very human story. Like they're not all good guys, and this guy definitely did some stuff that kind of seemed very scummy. He killed a bunch of people. um, Next, the leader of the group, somehow, some way, Song Jiang just happened to be one of those people who um, just really lucky, but he found himself associated with the rebels, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't something that I don't think he really actively planned to do, but yeah, it just kind of turned out that way. And man, this thing looks great. He's got his I'm not sure what that is, to be honest, but it looks good, and it looks like he's got his sword. He's not supposed to be really the warrior of the crew as much as he is the rich, wealthy, charismatic leader benefactor, And yeah, he's one of the four main characters of the book, if not kind of like the one that dominates the theme of the book, because he's there a lot because he's kind of like the good guy leader, and he's run into he's gotten in the crosshairs of the emperor and a bunch of and other bureaucrats, in China in that uh, story. So yeah, kind of cool. Next up, uh, the warrior monk, Liu Jisen. Um, yeah, he's one of those guys who was trouble, but he just happens to be a badass, but kind of like a rebel too. But he likes to be a warrior monk, and he somehow just happened to come across these guys. And yeah, he's a real powerful martial artist. He's one of the however many demons that there are out there that was released. And yeah, by the end of the book, the book is pretty tragic, but yeah, it's just yeah, he's one of the main characters, and he looks pretty cool, pretty spot on from at least the way I was uh, told as I was looking through the cliff notes to all of this kind of situation. But yeah, there he is with his halberdish kind of spear thing, and the most controversial character out of the bunch, Li Kui. this guy was the best bud of uh uh Sung Jang. Like, this was Jordan and this was Pippen, except this guy is a cannibal. He would eat his enemies, and man, this guy would he's a hothead. He would definitely mess things up. Like, he anytime some things didn't go his way, somebody was going to get killed, and and hothead. But yeah, this guy's controversial because according to the stories, he when he if he was mad at you, you disrespected him, you're gonna you'll turn into his dinner. Cannibalism is a from my understanding is a way to the ultimate humiliation to the enemy or somebody you really hate. You eat them and make them. At least that's the way it was described back then. And yeah, this guy was that guy. Yeah, very controversial. I know you probably all didn't expect that, but for people who know water margin, we will know, and they'll correct me if I'm wrong. Please, in the comments, do correct me. But as far as I know, that's exactly what he did. And I'm sure the stories in the books got edited so that they're not, channeling that part to avoid that portion of stuff because they don't want to put, you know, Chinese in that light, I guess. But it is what it is. But yeah, final thoughts on this set. Man, this is a beautiful set. I've, this. I don't know if there will be more characters, but I'm glad that I was able to get representations from at least three of the four main books that influenced China, and that's Water Margin, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and Journey to the West. And I already did videos on them. And if they do subsequent characters, believe me, I'm going to be doing an updated set video for each and every single one of these guys because I'm just a huge fan of all the things that Pop Asia have been doing. Yeah, the bobblehead's still kind of a thing. It's not something that I really care for, but at least it's not as obnoxious as the ones that were done by um, the Mindstyle's Three Kingdoms stuff. And yeah, but yeah, this is great. I love this set, and I'm very envious of the people of China because they definitely have all the good stuff that I like that I wish that were here. Oh man. All right, folks, that's all I have for this segment of Vinyl Therapy Sessions, the Mind Styles Funko Pop Water Margin Set Edition. I am your host, Coco Smooth. And until next video, folks, ciao.